Whether you're just beginning your journey with a free trial or you're already a valued customer, this video covers everything you need to start your N2W experience within the Azure environment. So let's not waste any time and dive right in. I am logged in my Azure portal and I'm going to visit the Azure Marketplace. On the Marketplace search bar, let's type N2WS, and that is going to show us the N2WS product for Azure Backup and Recovery. You get general information about the product and the different plans available. We're going to use the latest version. In today's case, it's 4.2. Then we're going to select Create. This is going to load the virtual machine configuration. The different settings that you pick here for encryption, networking, and monitoring vary based on your environment. We have a user guide that details all of the networking requirements for the N2WS server. In my case, I'm going to go with the default options for the purposes of this demo. So let's go ahead and get started. Going to select the subscription and resource group. And I'm going to give my virtual machine a name. I like to include the version number on it. We have a few releases a year, so it definitely helps. Region and availability zone. Then for the security type, select the supported option. Let's go ahead with the standard and verify that the version is the right one. For the size of the server, the standard B2 is perfectly fine for the purposes of this demo. Under authentication, I'm going to use the default username for the CPM server, and that is CPM user, lowercase, one word, and give my key pair a name. Right, then let's go to next to go over the disk options. I'm going to use the default, but you can make some changes for encryption and disk type. The same applies for the networking components. In my case, I'm going to proceed with the default. Once you get to the management section, on the identity, make sure you check for system assigned managed identity. You want to enable this feature. Then let's go to monitoring. And here you get the choice for alerts and diagnostics. And on the tags, I'm going to give my server a name. And then we're going to review all of the different choices that we've made. Once you review everything, go ahead and select Create. This is going to let you download your key pair and create the resource. This process takes a few minutes. I'm going to pause the recording and I'll meet you back once it's done. That actually happened really fast. The deployment is complete. As you can see here, you get the choice to go to the resource. So let's go ahead and select that option. And this will take us to our newly created VM. What you're going to do now is verify that it's ready. And then one more time, you can go over the different choices that you have made. The next part before we step through the configuration is to handle all of the permissions necessary for the server. We have a KB article on our website. It's called Minimal Azure Permissions and Roles for N2WS Operations. And all the way at the end of the article, there is a folder that contains the different JSON files that you need to create all of the different permissions. So go ahead and download that to your local computer. Once you do that, go back to your Azure portal, and this time we're going to travel all the way to our subscriptions. Select the desired subscription, and on the left menu, go to Access Control, click Add, and then add a custom role. When you get to the custom role option and you're ready to create the file, go ahead and select Start from JSON. That's the way I like to do it. I find that it's easier, but you get other choices. Once you click Start from JSON, simply upload the file. Click here, and then you're going to browse the different versions available. They all say the name of the license. So pick the right one. In my case, I'm going to use the Enterprise BYOL option. Going to load, and then it's going to create a custom name for you. In my case, I'm going to give it a version name. Oh, and then we're going to step through the role creation. So next, one more time, you get a list of all of the different permissions included. Once you get to the assignable scopes, go ahead and select Add Assignable Scopes. This is going to pop up the different choices. On the type, select Subscription. And then this is the name of my subscription, is Azure Subscription 1. And then all the way at the end, click Select. And that is going to populate that subscription for you. Make sure you remove the default. Click Next one more time. You can see here all the JSON code. And on the next tab, it gives you a summary of everything that we've just selected. Once you're ready, go ahead and click Create. To create the role takes a few minutes. So we're going to pause the video one more time until the role is created. To verify that the role was created, go back to your subscription, access control, then select roles. You're going to get a list of everything available in your subscription, but you're going to filter the type and select custom role and find the role that you have created here. In that case, it's ready to be attached to the server. So go back home. Now go to your virtual machines and select the CPM N2W server. And on the left menu, click Identity. You're going to add the role assignment. So select Azure Role Assignments. And here, click Add Role Assignment. And it's going to populate this pop-up window where you can select the scope. The scope is going to be subscription. This is the name of my subscription. And then here, I'm just going to paste the name of my role. If you don't see it right away, wait a few more minutes. It can take some time for the role to show up everywhere. And hit save. Same applies here. It takes a little bit of time for it to populate, but there's another place that we can check. So let's go ahead and close this. Again, on the left menu or the VM, go to Access Control and then Role Assignments. Once the role is ready, it will show up here, as you can see. In that case, our server can move on to the next step, which is the configuration. To access the interface, go ahead and copy the IP address and we're going to access it through our browser. Click Advanced and then Proceed. This loads the configuration for the server, and the first step is to add the virtual machine resource ID. So let's go back to our Azure portal, and on the left menu, select Properties and scroll down until you find the resource ID. That's a little handy copy at the corner. So let's go ahead and do that. And we're going to paste the resource ID here. Then you see the user license. Let's go ahead, take some time to read it, and then accept the terms and click Next. On the license, you're going to get some choices. If this is the very first time that you're configuring the N2W server, select that this is a free trial. For existing customers, expand the dropdown and select that this account is already licensed. So now I'm going to create a username and I'm going to type in a password. We do have password enforcement. Make sure that you select an appropriate password. Right? And now we're going to click Next. For the VM assign identity, select System Assigned. And now make some choices for the time zone and the data volume. In my case, I'm going to configure a brand new server for the demo. So I'm going to select Create New Disk. To import existing configuration, you will select Use Existing Data Disk. I'm going to click Next one more time. And now it's going to give me the choices for that new disk. This is going to be our data volume, and 5 gigs is plenty, especially for a demo environment. And you get some choices about the SSL certificate. In my case, I'm going to use the default SSL. I'm going to click Next one more time. And then for the trial customers, go ahead and register. And for existing customers, you can complete the registration again. In my case, for the demo, I'm just going to skip it and click Configure System. Now, this is going to take 5 to 10 minutes depending on how big that data volume is. So again, I'm going to pause the video and meet you back when it's done. All right, so I'm back. It actually took about 5 minutes. So thanks to the magic of video editing, it didn't seem that long to you at all. Once you get to this screen, that means that the server configuration is successful. So let's go ahead and log in. Same username and password. And now it's going to load the N2WS dashboard. You're going to get this message. This is regarding the license. If you're starting a free trial or even for BYOL customers, it takes about 5 minutes to activate the license. So I'm going to pause that one more time and meet you back once this message goes away. There are a few things that you can do to check that you are, in fact, in the right version. On the top right hand side, go to the question mark and then click About. If the license has not loaded, it's going to look like this. It would say dynamic license, and then this is the product version. In this case, is 4.2. And you can see that the expiration date is set to today. Give it a few minutes and then refresh the whole page till this message updates to the right license. Okay, so let's check one more time. I refresh the page, and as you can see, it will be very visible the change. You get all of the features on the dashboard, you get more choices here on the left menu. But the best way is to once again go back to the top right hand side, question mark, about, and then you're going to see your license expand the details, and make sure that everything looks good on your side. Okay. So once we get to this point, whether it's myself or when I do these deployments for customers, which by the way is completely free, we offer the help and we would sit with you and get this deployed. The server itself is ready to go, but I like to take them a few more steps and add one account and one backup policy. So I will do that really quickly so that you get an idea of how the server works, how you can add accounts and backup policies, and then you're on your way to create your own custom backup and recovery policies and recovery scenarios. So let's do that really quick. On the left menu, go to Accounts, select New, and then Azure Account. And I'm going to add the same subscription that I already used for my demo. That is why the authentication is the system assigned. So, demo account. The choice here is to scan the resources. And what this means is that it's going to look at the tags for all of the backup targets available and help you add them to the backup policies. So, of course, I want to enable this feature for all of my resources. Now I'm going to hit save. Once you add the account, I like to check that the permissions are okay. So I'm going to select the account and then do a permissions check. This is going to check all of those IAM permissions that we added to the subscription. We want to see everything green. If it looks good, go ahead and close it. And then you're ready to move on to add backup policies. So on the left menu, one more time, click on Policies and select New and Azure Policy. Let's give our policy a name. You can select the account and the subscription and the schedule. For the schedule, this is a brand new server, so it doesn't have anything. So all you're going to do is click New, going to open the schedule page, and you're going to select Daily as the schedule. It's going to happen every day. You can change your time zone if you want to, and hit Save. Go back to the previous tab, and on the corner, there's a little refresh option that you can use. And now it's going to populate that daily schedule. Here, all the way at the end, is how many snapshots you're going to keep. They're always based on the schedule. We have a daily schedule and 30 generations. So this is a good example of a monthly or a daily backup policy. You can change this number. In my case, I want to keep just a week worth of snapshots. So I have 7 generations, daily schedule. I'm going to keep about a week. Then move on to the backup targets. Go ahead and select to add a backup target and you get the choice. For Azure, we cover VM, disk, and SQL Server. I'm just going to add one virtual machine. This is my demo VM. I'm going to click Add Selected, and it's going to add my backup target. You get some choices about what are the included disk that you want to keep. By default, there's all of them. Let's say that you want to exclude some of them. You can do it here. All right. Then more options is really about the number of retries and timeouts. And here is the DR. So for DR, you get the choice to send backups to a different region. Go ahead and select your target location. And what this is going to do is it's going to send a copy of the snapshot to a different Azure region. In my case, I'm going to select US West. And I'm going to hit save. This is a very simple policy. We do have other features and other backup targets, but for the purposes of this demo, one backup policy with one backup target will run really fast, and I want you to see it. So once the policy is ready, you can either wait for the schedule or, like I did, run ASAP. This will open up the backup monitor, and we're going to wait for our policy to execute. Depending on the size of the VM and how many backup targets, it will be how long it takes to do the whole backup. Keep in mind that all of the backups are incremental, so the first one is going to take the longest, and then the rest are going to go a lot faster, depending on the type of changes that happen to that backup target. If you want to see the status as the backup goes, go ahead and select the log, and you can follow along what the CPM server is doing. You want to see everything green, and if you do get any warnings, we do have support available. This is going to take a few minutes. The first that is going to happen is going to be the copy on the local region. In my case, is US East. Once that's done, it's going to move the snapshot or copy it over to a different region, and this is going to be US West. Again, you look at the log, and it tells you what it's doing. But the easiest way is to go to your Azure account. We'll go home, and then you look at the snapshots. You want to make sure that they are in fact being created. So let's filter by today. Okay, here we go. We have this is the snapshot on the west location, and this is the original snapshot on the east. Here's the timestamp. You can expand. As you can see, all of the snapshots are tagged. This will help you determine what snapshots are N2W has created and what snapshots are created by yourself or maybe another script. Very easy to determine. Right? Let's go back one more time. And now our DR is completed. So this is a good stopping point. We have added an account, we have a backup policy, and you're ready to go ahead and create your own backup policies and follow along on the backup monitor. We will be doing a series of videos to go over all of the different features, but for now, you are in really good standing to start creating your own backup policies in the Azure environment. Thank you for joining, and I hope that you have found this video helpful.